Welcome back to the YouTube channel, the Roundrockville Tales, where I'm reading a Roundrockville tale. I'm the author, whatever Trevor. I've been having some apprehension about this. The voices are a lot. So what I've decided is I'm just going to push through, and if the voices aren't great, that's life. I'm going to do the best I can. Page 19, Chapter 5, Breakfast. A feast was precisely what was needed. Roundrockville grew and stored all its food. The food stores required periodic emptying to make room for the new harvest. The solution was to prepare a feast of salads, soups, stews, smoked meats, and sweets. The round rocks of Roundrockville would get a little rounder. The cycle of life would continue. Being the mayor's assistant, Sylvia Stonemier took it upon herself to arrange the feast. She was the natural choice, being connected to everybody in town, whether they liked it or not. Her first stop was the kitchen of the Emerald Tea Room. In the southeast corner of the center courtyard in Roundrockville, a cave in a boulder provided shelter for the original residents. It now served as a communal kitchen and tea room. Where the center courtyard was the geographical center of Roundrockville, the Emerald Tea Room was its heart. For more generations than anyone other than the Emeralds cared to count, there was an emerald in the kitchen at the Emerald Tea Room. Currently, it was Esmeralda Emerald, who mixed tasty ingredients and worked her delicious magic in the Emerald family kitchen. The massive carved-out boulder served as the kitchen and serving area. A large dining counter with round, green and white padded stools separated the serving area from the dining room. Out front, a large circular patio area dotted with green or white round tables and chairs with the same green and white padded seats under a large green and white striped awning. Brick Brickenstein worked the kitchen. Esmeralda Emerald was the head chef and ran the whole place. But Brick was the foundation. Brick knew the food stores they would need. The kitchen door to the Emerald Tea Room was open. The smell of garlic, onion, and mushrooms mixed with various spices filled the air. Sylvia passed between a prep table with storage shelves and a pantry. The front line contained a wood grill, a griddle, and a 6-burner oven top. Opposite the appliances was a long countertop with containers of prepped food, a workspace for plating, and a large open window leading to the server area. The other side of the kitchen was a cooler, a second prep area, an oven for baking, and a dishwashing area in the corner. Brick, that smells divine. Please add my order to the list. Brick was busy on the line, rigorously rolling back and forth, tending to this and that. Sure thing, sweetie. 1 mushroom omelet, light on the garlic, no onions, coming up. Brick had an excellent memory and never missed a beat. He played the cooking line like a set of concert drums. Sylvia lingered a bit, waiting for a pause to ask about the feast, finally realizing Brick wasn't going to slow down. Hate to bother you, but I have a request from the mayor. No bother. What can I do for the honorable mayor? Brick continued to keep the kitchen flowing. Ding ding! Sapphire, order up! Caught up in the kitchen's hectic pace, Sylvia quickly said, "The mayor thinks, and I agree, that we should have a feast to welcome Linus back." Brick paused for a second, looked off vacantly into the distance. An instant inventory and a menu for the feast appeared. "For tonight?" "Yes, if possible." "Possible? Possible? Ha ha! Of course it's possible. Clear it with Esmeralda and let's party. Woo!" Brick turned and faced Sylvia. "Your breakfast will be up shortly, and I'll see you tonight. I'll be sure to bake up that honey garlic glaze cake just for you." Brick turned back and flipped an omelet at the perfect moment. "Well, I should hope so. Thank you, Brick." Sylvia exited the kitchen and started towards her regular table to sit with the Red Hat Rocks of Roundrockville. The Red Hat Rocks were an unofficial social group. Sylvia was the current president. Most mornings, she would enjoy breakfast with fellow members Sphere Spherison and Barbara Brickenstein. Sometimes Grace Granite Garnett and Esmeralda Emerald would join them. As a prospective member, Delilah McDiamond was joining them more regularly. That morning, Grace and Esmeralda sat with Lumpy. Sylvia's curiosity invaded her thoughts. "I would love to know how he got all those lumps. That's not normal." Approaching the newcomer and his new fan club, Sylvia interrupted some laughter. "Mr. Linestone, on behalf of the mayor of Roundrockville, Sir Reginald Roundbottom II, myself, and the citizens of Roundrockville, we would like to welcome you home with a feast. Esmeralda, Brick needs your okay to proceed. At the mayor's request, of course." Esmeralda bounced up off her chair. "Yes, yes, of course, yes," turning to Lumpy, glowing with excitement. "Linus, this is wonderful, but it means I've got to go." Esmeralda kissed Lumpy on the head and rolled off. "Work to do." Lumpy stood and extended his hand to Sylvia. "Wow, that's a wonderful. I'm sorry, I don't know your name yet. Please call me Lumpy, and I can call you—" "Sylvia Stonemier. You can call me Sylvia. If it's all the same to you, I would prefer to use your proper name, Linus. I'm not fond of nicknames." Sylvia, as a young rock, was given a short-lived but unfortunate nickname, Sylvia Stonemier. She refused to acknowledge the name, but it hurt. The very thought of it triggered a lingering memory. Once again, Sylvia found herself looking through the eyes of the small rock she used to be. The playground was busy with rocks, skipping, spinning, sliding, singing, swinging, and smiling. Sylvia sat on a bench, not feeling well. Roundy McRoundface was the king of the playground. Other rocks enjoyed his carefree company. "What's the matter, Sylvia? Don't you want to play with us?" Roundy made up the coolest games and did outrageous things. Sylvia had a slight schoolgirl crush on Roundy. "No, thank you, Roundy. I'm not interested in your silly game. Besides, I'm not feeling well." Sylvia wiped her nose. Roundy blurted out, "Sylvia Stonemier can't play today. She's got a snotty nose." The other little rocks repeated, "Sylvia Stonemier can't play today." Sylvia ignored all the rocks that used the nickname. She wanted to respond in kind and considered retaliating. "How would you like it if I called you Roundy McButtface? Roundy McButtface. Breath smells like butt." But she didn't sink to his level. Even as a young rock, she was proud of her restraint. Slate Slanders sat down beside Sylvia. "I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
I will pray to Bedrock for you to get well.
Hearing the other rocks now chanting, Snotmire, and seeing the pain it was causing Sylvia, Slate knew what he had to do. Sylvia watched as Slate walked right over to Roundy and began arguing with him. Sylvia couldn't hear what was said, but she had a good idea. Slate and Roundy tumbled around until Slate precariously pinned Roundy to the ground. When Slate let Roundy up, Roundy immediately came over to Sylvia. Sylvia, I'm sorry you're sick, and I'm sorry I called you a bad name.
You don't think, do you, Roundy?
Aye, usually not until after I've done something stupid. I'm sorry, Sylvia Stonemier.
Thank Bedrock. Even you can learn to do better.
Aye, you're right. It won't happen again. I swear to Bedrock. Roundy wasn't one to worship Bedrock, but he was sincere. It was the first time Slate Slanders and Roundy McRoundface tumbled. Sylvia's first crush ended that day, but her heart opened for another. It was also the beginning of all of their friendships, though Sylvia would never admit Roundy McButtface was her friend. Sylvia was pulled into a handshake and back into the present moment. Lumpy smiled, filled the bottom of his face. Sylvia! He reached out both hands. Sylvia noticed the politician's handshake.
You are smooth, aren't you, Mr. Limestone? That big smile, another trait of politicians and con rocks.
Sylvia was thorough and astute, not easy to fool. The mayor was the mayor, but Sylvia Stonemier ran Roundrockville. She was fiercely protective of her home. It is a pleasure to meet you, Sylvia. You may call me Linus if you prefer. Thank you, and thank the mayor for this honor. It will be my pleasure to share in a feast.
The mayor is excited to welcome you home, as am I.
Sylvia turned to Grace Garnett.
Grace, we'll catch up later.
Grace knew that was code for I'll debrief you later. Grace preferred the straightforward approach.
I'm sure I can squeeze some juicy tidbits out of our new friend here for you. Please do feel free to spread the word about the feast tonight. I've got to go. My breakfast should be ready, and I have a busy day.
Sylvia sat at her regular seat just as Sapphire placed her omelet on the table. Sapphire was an exceptional service professional.
Good morning, Sylvia. Here is your omelet. I'll get you a hot cup of tea right away.
Sapphire spun away to another table with the grace of a ballerina.
Good morning, Sphere. Barbara?
Sylvia jumped right into it.
What an exciting morning, hey, Rocks?
Sphere tended to just agree with Sylvia.
Exciting indeed.
It was easier than being convinced to agree.
The possibilities. Seeing Linus L. Limestone back will open up the whole world.
Sylvia was unknowingly apprehensive about her world growing much larger. Barbara Brickenstein was always light and flighty, with a sting like a bumblebee.
Imagine the luck to find his way back home, all the things he must have seen. I can't wait to chat with him, hear some tales from beyond Roundrockville.
Again, Sylvia felt an uncomfortable, foggy emotion. This time, envy joined the apprehension, stirring up fear and resentment.
You will get your chance to meet Linus this evening. The mayor has requested a feast in his honor. I will be busy today arranging the event.
Barbara slurped down the last of her tea.
A feast, you say? Rick will need my provisions. I must go. With a feast, it will be a busy day indeed.
Barbara stood, wiped her mouth, and dropped her napkin on her plate.
Sylvia, Sphere, I will see you later.
She buzzed away and thanked Sapphire on the way into the kitchen. Laughter erupted from around Lumpy. The audience twisted in their seats and focused like spotlights to make Lumpy shine. Delilah McDiamond rolled into the room, gave Sylvia and Sphere a smile and a slight bow, and said,
"Good morning. Isn't this exciting?"
Delilah continued, sliding into Lumpy's table. Delilah was a prospective member of the Red Hat Rocks. Breakfast was a good time to socialize with Sylvia. This morning, Delilah's curiosity outweighed her ambition. Sylvia could feel resentment add to the subconscious emotional soup.
Well, I'm not going to fall for his charm. He will have to prove to me the quality of his sculpture. Sphere, you agree we should be wary of his charm, right?
Sphere twisted around in her seat, spun back, and looked at Sylvia lovingly.
I agree he's charming, and he has the rugged good looks of a sculptor.
Sphere spun back and turned her seat a little to join the growing audience. Sylvia sat silently, eating her eggs and sipping tea. Every burst of laughter directed at Lumpy stirred her emotions. Finally, she decided,
I don't like him.
Thank you for listening to Chapter 5. Next week, Chapter 6. Have a wonderful day.